John Ruich went in search of a taste of history on Harbin's freezing streets.
It's about 15 degrees below freezing, and a group of men have cleared a patch of snow from the frozen
How long is Regal? How can
the translucent ice looks like it's about 3 feet thick.
How long is Regal Candia Crossing?
I don't know what you're talking about, Christopher.
It's
far.
used to make them spin on the slick ice. It's a kind of exercise, says 44-year-old Zhang Yu. He finishes a cigarette as his friend whips his top nearby to keep it spinning.
It's all snow and ice related here. We do things like skiing, tour, or ice swimming.
Indeed, Harbin is known for being cold. It's home to the world's biggest ice festival, and in winter, the mercury here regularly drops to -20 Fahrenheit. So you'd think something warm, like tea, cocoa, might be the refreshment choice on its frigid streets. But no, downtown, it's a particular kind of ice cream bar in the freezing cold. People line up outside for them, like 24-year-old Zhang Xinyu.
For me, it's just kind of like a habit.
Joseph Caspi arrived poor, but in short order, and mysteriously, he had made millions.
Gossip spread around that he made his money by selling jewels from the crown of the rightful Tsar.
However he made his money, he used it to build the modern hotel. A 3-story Renaissance-style building that was one of the most luxurious hotels in China and a hub of cultural activity in the Northeast. It was frequented by grandees and performers like the Russian opera singer Fyodor Shaliapin.
Among the things, they had also a bakery and a yogurt. You can buy now the ice cream, which became a commodity all over China.
Nobody seems to know exactly when Caspi got the idea to sell ice cream in frigid Harbin, or why, but he did. It's called Madiar ice cream. Madiar being a rough
So you know what the island that we're about to go through is called?
As in the name of this hotel.
Yeah. And you know what they call the holes that you go through? They call them the bore holes.
China. And the ice cream bars in the freezing cold are a novelty. It's so cold, though, that on her first attempt at a lick, the popsicle stuck to her tongue. She says it's good, though. Cream flavor, the original. Joseph Caspi's story had a bitter ending. His eldest son, Semyon, was kidnapped and killed by Russian fascists working for the occupying Japanese in 1933. Dan Ben-Kanan says they were trying to force him to hand over the hotel. Caspi never recovered. He was shipped off to Paris, leaving his business empire behind. When the communists took over China in the late 1940s, the modern hotel was nationalized. And they've kept the ice cream bars going. A sweet salute to the history of an imperial outpost and a Russian Jewish soldier who left his mark.
And we're going through the borehole.
In a narrow street-side shop front at the hotel, Dongzhi Jun is selling Madeira ice cream bars for about 75 cents a pop.
There's the bridge.
When everyone on the street is eating one, and you see them, you just want one yourself.
Even if it's approaching -20 out. John Ruich, NPR News, Harbin, China.
Are you hungry?
Yes.
Where do you want to go for lunch?
Yeah,
to All Things Considered from NPR
What?
News.
Support for NPR comes
by
from
McDonald's.
Angie's
You wanna go to a
List is
McDonald's?
Angie, dedicated to helping
You don't wanna
homeowners
go to,
get
like,
projects done well, from everyday repairs to dream
A&W
remodels.
or
Reviews, pricing,
Wendy's
and
or
booking
Jack in the
are at
Box or
Angie.com
In-N-Out
or the Angie
or
app.
McDonald's?
Indeed, a hiring
Yeah,
platform
okay.
committed to helping businesses of all sizes. Businesses can invite candidates to apply.
Big rig crash in Vallejo on 80 westbound at Georgia Street. Along with the car there on the shoulder. That's slow though from Redwood Street. And the tree work really slowing things down. Los Gatos, Highway 17 southbound between the Cat's Restaurant and Summit Road. That right lane taken away. Back up all the way to Blossom Hill Road. Julie Deppish for KQED.
Support for KQED
Blossom Hill
comes
Road.
from Stanford
That's near where
Live,
we
presenting NEA jazz master and virtuoso violinist Regina Carter's latest multimedia project, Gone in a Phase of Air. Learn more at live.stanford.edu. You're on member-supported KQED FM 88.5 San Francisco, KQEI FM 89.3 North Island, Sacramento, and live online at kqed.org. Up next at 2 p.m., it's The World.
EV power. New rules from the Biden White House to dramatically curb auto emissions.
I'm very optimistic about it. I think this is exactly the kind of ambition we need to see.
Ambitious and close in line with what other countries are doing. Also today, Florida's governor is proposing a bill that would penalize people like this church minister who helped undocumented migrants.
It could make it a crime to transport undocumented immigrants to Sunday school, and we go to hospitals or soup kitchens.
I'm Marco Werman, and we revisit the abducted schoolgirls from Chibok, Nigeria. A writer meets them and their families.
You know, there's a lot of despair, but there's also a lot of hope, and you see a lot of strength and resilience. And then for some, also their stigma.
Even after their release, it's a mixed picture. All that and more today here on The World.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Spear. The second of two lawmakers expelled from Tennessee government last week following a protest on the State House floor was reappointed by his local constituents today. Member station WKNO in Memphis, Christopher Blanca.
Shelby County Commission Chair Mikkel Lowry got right down to it.
Okay, everyone, please take their seats. Let us knock out this meeting here.
7 commissioners quickly reappointed Democratic Representative Justin Pearson to the job he lost Thursday when Republicans expelled him and one other black lawmaker for a breach of decorum or speaking out of turn. Republican commissioners skipped Wednesday's brief meeting. As supporters cheered, Pearson said he would continue to speak out against gun violence.
We look forward to continuing to fight, continuing to advocate until justice rolls down like water.
His colleague, Justin Jones, was reappointed by Nashville government on Monday. For NPR News, I'm Christopher Blank in Memphis.
A large industrial fire in eastern Indiana near the border with Ohio is expected to burn for days. Officials there have urged nearly 2,000 people to evacuate the area. Chris Walter, member station WYSO reports.
The fire at a plastics recycling facility sent thick black smoke into the air above the city of Richmond, Indiana. People who live near the blaze have been asked to evacuate. Others who live downwind have been instructed to shelter in place, turn off their HVAC systems, and shut windows and doors. Environmental Protection Agency staff are on the scene to monitor for certain chemicals. Jason Sewell is with the EPA.
Fortunately, the toxic compounds that we're looking for, we're not seeing, but everyone needs to keep in mind that smoke is harmful. We are seeing smoke in our particulate meters.
Local officials say the owner of the facility has previously been cited for numerous safety violations. For NPR News, I'm Chris Welter in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Police in Louisville, Kentucky today released frantic 911 calls that came in as witnesses first reported the mass shooting that occurred early Monday morning at a downtown bank building. 5 people died, 8 others were wounded. Stocks closed even lower as the Labor Department reported inflation easing last month. Here's NPR's Scott Horsley.
Consumer prices in March were up 5% from a year ago. That's the lowest annual inflation rate in almost 2 years. Food prices were flat last month, while energy prices were down. Stripping out food and energy prices, so-called core inflation is still relatively high, largely driven by the cost of shelter and services such as travel and entertainment, which have seen growing demand. The Federal Reserve is widely expected to raise interest rates by another 1/4 percentage point at its next meeting in 3 weeks. But the Fed is also keeping an eye on bank lending. That's dropped since the collapse of 2 big regional banks last month. The decline in bank loans acts like another brake on economic growth. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow was down 38 points today. This is NPR.
Live from KQED News, I'm Natalia Navarro. Attorney General Rob Bonta announced today that 7 states, including California, have reached a $462 million deal with Juul to settle multiple lawsuits. California will get nearly $176 million in the deal after alleging that the electronic cigarette company illegally targeted young people through its marketing campaigns. Bonta